ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marcin Wielec, and I have a great honor to be here with you at the conference entitled Interpretation of Fundamental Rights in the Practice of the Constitutional Court of Central and Eastern Europe. I represented the Institute of Justice in Warsaw, which is a scientific and research unit that provides direct research support in the field of broadly understood functioning of law for the Polish Ministry of Justice. The Institute of Justice is also a partner in this extremely interesting and important international research project under the title Central European Professors Networks. This project has been established by the Institute of Comparative Law, Ferenc Mádl in Budapest, and is mainly run by this institute. In this project, I have a great honor and responsibility to lead one of the research group composed of outstanding scientists from Central European countries. My group deals with the analysis of the widely understood phenomenon of fake news and censorship in social media. Being a part of such a wonderful research project, I would like to congratulate the Institute of Comparative Law, Ferenc Mádl in Budapest, the idea of establishing this professors network. I can assure you that the participation of the Institute of Justice in Warsaw in this project is a great distinction, honorable duty, considerable responsibility, but also a great scientific pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, when we signed in July 2020 a memorandum of cooperation between the Institute of Comparative Law, Ferenc Mádl in Budapest, and the Institute of Justice in Warsaw, I think that none of us expected that this project would gather so many distinguished people, gather so many outstanding scientists, define so many research areas, and in them so many specific and important issues. Each of the 4 research areas of this project is devoted to extremely important sectors of private and public life, and I'm sure that the results developed by members of our professors network will be avant-garde and useful, and not only in Hungary or Poland, but also useful for our entire region of Central Europe. The idea of establishing a research project in the form of a professors network is in itself very interesting and innovative. If I'm not mistaken, it is currently the only research project of this type in Central Europe, which is very well organized, has specific goals, vision, and driving mechanism. For this courage in the idea of building such a network, the Institute of Comparative Law, Ferenc Mádl in Budapest deserves great recognition. This project discovers previously unknown routes of international cooperation, and together with our Institute of Justice in Warsaw, tries to impose the tone of scientific discourse in selected research areas widely, even beyond Central Europe. This is very important, in my opinion, especially because we currently have a huge monopoly on the exploration of research directions from stronger scientific and research centers, mainly from Western Europe. And each of the issues raised in the professors' networks deserves special attention and dedication. For example, today's conference, carried out in the research group devoted to fundamental rights, will survey raise many threats that clearly reach the sources of the human existence and the law always connected with it. There are times when someone are trying to modify or even supersede traditional axiologies, traditional value of law, and replace them, as I call it, negative axiology, anti-axiology, often contrary to the natural order of things, contrary to the traditional understanding of values. After all, values are indisputable ideas, signposts, directions, recognized for years in society, in accordance with the natural order of things, function according to these values. These values are unchanging and indisputable, and today we often see attempts to undermine them, impose them, and replace them with completely new idea and project contrary to their nature. That is why it is so important to analyze the solution of the most important legal act in a democratic country, which is, of course, the Constitution. After all, Constitution is just a catalog. It's a catalog of values. The Constitution is the most important signpost for the functioning of the community, for the functioning of the state. If it doesn't include norms falling within the scope of broadly understood fundamental rights, understood as rational, socially understandable, effective, fair norms, and therefore, in my opinion, first of all, legal norms regulating the state of affairs in a natural way, just like a given institution, if the body traditionally understands, then we will have the opposite of fundamental rights. I'm looking at the agenda of today's conference and see that in the area of fundamental rights today, it promises to be an excellent intellectual discussion, certainly containing many views on a constitutional solution from the perspective of various countries in our region. This position will be presented by eminent thinkers, professors, and practitioners of law, of course, members of our professors network. From what I have only briefly said, it can be seen how important the current research area constituting the title of our conference is, the interpretation of fundamental rights in the practice of the constitutional courts of Central and Eastern Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, in order not to extend my speech, I would like to assure you that it is a great pride for the Institute of Justice in Warsaw that he is a key partner in this project. At the same time, I would like to express my gratitude to Hungarian Ministry of Justice. I can assure you that we also have a great support from the Polish Ministry of Justice. In conclusion, I would also like to express my gratitude, of course, to the professor, the director of the Institute of Comparative Law, Ferenc Mádl in Budapest, the Silagi, for his titanic work in launching and managing his very, I repeat, very brave project. And I hope that the Professors Network will soon become an influential, effective, avant-garde, but above all diverse and wide research forum of international scope. That it will be a network that sets the tone of scientific discussion or proposes good legislative solutions, but also defends the common and today much needed research rationality. Both institutes plan to cooperate further in the future, because I will only briefly mention that the second project, called the Polish-Hungarian Research Platform, is being implemented simultaneously, where at this time the Institute of Justice in Warsaw plays a key role. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wish all participation of today's conference through its fruitful debate, interesting conclusions, and further cooperation. Thank you very much for your attention.